Nowadays, the medical professions face an immense load of stress that is persistent. So what we must deal with is the necessity to face constant change and adaptation.
We are not talking about the burnouts, and we are observing, unfortunately, the burnouts. The main question is how to diagnose the burnouts, first of all. The first symptoms are not so clear and not so obvious.
I observe most often emotional exhaustion, chronic fatigue and sleep deprivation, but also cynicism, irritability, and reduced empathy toward patients or co-workers. And there is something like detachment from work. It may include loss of motivation and disengagement. And in some cases, I also can see a sense of hopelessness and being trapped in a professional role.
In general, stress and what we are facing in the current world, this is the part of our life. But I believe the problem for the global medicine is that we try to get used to the perpetual distress, and this is not an acceptable paradigm to follow, because at some moment we'll have the exhaustion, distress, and all the sequelae.
I believe that, burnout is not an individual weakness. It's rather a result of system failure. So we would need the system to recognize that the emotional labor is part of our job and that we need some kind of institutional support. Caring for and working with such often critically ill patients with sometimes poor prognosis despite our best efforts is an emotional load. And this is the constant exposure to suffering, to loss, and to the limits of medicine that we have to face in our everyday practice.
My patients often come with a lot of pain, sometimes as a last resort, and I'm scared that I will let them down and not be able to meet their needs. But also that I will not know if I've made a mistake.
Also, it's very important, especially for the younger doctors, to not share these emotions, to be involved in these emotions. Of course, I try to underline that you should be empathic, but you have to also protect yourself.
Every recovery usually starts from recognizing the problem, and from my perspective, this stage is really important. Followed by rest and psychological professional support. And it may include therapy, it may include a long process of changing beliefs and views on job and building personal coping strategies. But systemic support and understanding how this process is crucial for full recovery.
If people are in supportive, even very high complex environment, but with this support, non-judgmental, having this resilience, this is the moment to start considering being the part of the process, and instead of quitting, staying on board. And I think this is the key part.
And I would like to underline this leadership management, because nowadays the good leaders should have basic psychological knowledge.
It was the pandemic time, and I saw that the doctors, like the regular people, are scared. And my first thought was, okay, I need some personal help and somebody who tell me how should I take care of my coworker, how should be a good leader in this particular time.
A doctor is a human being, and a human being is a doctor. And I think that anything that costs you your mental health for a long time is too expensive.